Hello and welcome to Auto Junction TV. Today we're driving the new Datsun Go Plus. We're in Brahmagiri, a few kilometers outside Rishikesh on the banks of the mythical river Ganga. So what's new about this car? The real change compared to the Datsun Go hatchback, as you can see, is the increased length over here that gives this car the stance and proportions of a Mini-MPV. This car is about a foot longer than the Datsun Go hatchback, and what that does is it allows Datsun to package in two little jump seats at the rear to make this a 5+2 seater, which adds to flexibility, gives you a lot more boot space. If you want, you can fold those seats and you have 374 liters of luggage room in the rear. Other than that, this car is identical to the Datsun Go. In fact, from the front, including the A pillar, the doors, the B pillar and the rear doors, the car is identical to the Datsun Go hatch. What is new is this rear panel and the quarter glass. Even the basic shape of the hatch, the rear hatch and the tail lights is the same. This of course has been done for reasons of cost. But does that make this a cheap car? So here we are inside the new Datsun Go Plus. The dashboard is very familiar. It's in fact identical to what we have on the Datsun Go hatchback. The premise of this car, of course, is the increased length and therefore the increased interior space. As you can see at the back, we have a second and a third row of seats. It's okay, Rajita, you don't need to hide. Right? Now we're going to tell you a little bit about how this car feels to drive. We have been driving it around the roads near Rishikesh and Dehradun, and we're quite impressed with the way this car rides and handles. It's a very thoroughly engineered product, and there are no compromises that have been made in terms of its driving feel, which is a good thing. Of course, you still can't get away from the fact that it's essentially a very basic and functional car. So here we are, now driving through the narrow streets of Rishikesh. This is the kind of territory where the usability and practicality of this car actually comes into its own. The compact dimensions make it very easy to maneuver. The steering is light and responsive. The short gearing also is an advantage. The roads around here tend to be narrow, broken in some places, and since we're in the foothills of the Himalayas, there are a few twisty bits where the short gearing really helps. We've driven the car even with 4 people and quite a bit of luggage on board, and it's acquitted itself quite commendably. As a low-cost engineering solution, there are a few compromises made to refinement. Road noise is quite pronounced inside this car. Also, when you accelerate hard, you can hear the engine. It's quite a vocal engine. There aren't too many vibrations, but now just for a second I'm going to throttle on a little bit and you can hear the engine. So doubtless, while it's quite a responsive powertrain, quite a responsive unit, you can still, there's no getting away from the engine noise, there's no getting away from the road noise outside. So sound deadening isn't the best inside this vehicle, which could perhaps make it a little tiring on longer drives. But then at the price that Datsun is expected to launch this car in the market, you couldn't really ask for more. The ride quality on these broken roads over here is very impressive. This is one of the things that customers of this car will really appreciate. Though it's got small wheels, it's got substantial ground clearance, the suspension is well judged, it manages to take these bad roads in its stride without any complaints. So even when the car is loaded, even with passengers on board, it does not bottom out. This goes to show that the learnings that Datsun has, and of course it's benefited from all the engineering expertise of Nissan for these many years, these have filtered down to the Datsun Go Plus and make it a good product. So what do we think of the new Datsun Go Plus? We've just finished driving this car, and while we're quite happy with what it does, the interesting thing to note is what segment really does this car fit into? None really. It creates a new segment. Does this answer a market need? Is this a question that no one's asked? Time will tell, but essentially this is a large car with 5+2 seats. Agreed, the rear seats are maybe a little too cramped for anything other than small children, but it has space, it has versatility, it has flexibility, and let's not forget that even in its top of the line T trim level, this is going to cost under 5 lakh rupees. That is going to make it fantastic value for money for people who are looking for a large and spacious vehicle but are on a budget. The fuel economy isn't bad, it drives well, it's got good ground clearance, and we've really put it through some tortuous terrain over here on the roads around Rishikesh, and it's acquitted itself quite well. So the sum of its parts, is it greater than the whole? I can't really comment at this point in time, but to my eyes this is a car that deserves to do well. The challenges for Datsun and of course the parent company Nissan is that they don't really have quite as good a reach in the Indian market that the other competitors do. However, they have Japanese pedigree, they have sound engineering, and they have a competent product. They have an expanding sales network. These are things that should help its cause. But I would definitely suggest for someone who's looking for a large family car but on a shoestring budget, perhaps the Go Plus is a product that answers all those questions. For a complete detailed road test of the new Datsun Go Plus, including lots of pictures, log on to www.autojunction.in.